An icon reborn. A new season begins. Drivers must face off wheel to wheel with only one goal: to be crowned champion. Experience the competition and the glory days of early 80s IndyCar action. Hear the song of 500 horsepower Cosworth engines. Watch as drivers wrestle these ground effects cars into submission. Without electronic driver aids, it creates the perfect combination of man, machine, and speed. The Lionheart Retro Series, presented by HPP Simulation, starts now.
Before the curtain goes up, there is the overture. Before the meal is served, there is the appetizer. And before its sophomore season makes its debut, there is this. Presented by HPP Simulation, today, from the road course at Homestead Miami Speedway, it is the inaugural Lionheart Retro Series All-Star Race, sponsored by DwarsCandy.com. Welcome to the Global SimRacing Channel and Countdown to Green, presented by SimPit. GSRC will bring you all the track action live as it happens, but first, let's give you all the storylines, all the stats and facts you'll need to appreciate the doubleheader Lotus 79 Retro event that will immediately follow. And here to do all of that, for this, the 100th GSRC broadcast of a Lionheart sanctioned event, our Soup and Crackers, yours truly, Bill Soups On, joined by Sean Crackers Ambrose. Amjad Yaman is the director, with cameras provided by Dougie Beard. Now it looks like my partner has chased down somebody worth hearing from. Sean, who do you have there?
I have the Grand Poobah, the league organizer, the man that makes it all happen, George Anzaldo, in the booth with me. George, welcome aboard, and welcome to the second season here in the Retro Series. How are you, my friend?
I'm doing great, Sean. Thank you. And how you doing, Soup?
Very good. George, I was stunned as we were working out some of the details of this event. This series, you have really been hard at work. The prizes are jaw-dropping.
You know, this offseason we have been really hard at work. We reached out to a few different sponsors, and we're able to bring them in, and we're so excited to have them this season.
George, you talk about this season. What an undertaking. The preparation that's gone into all of this. You want to pull back the curtain, let anybody know exactly how much work it's been?
You know, it's been a lot of work, but I haven't done it alone. I had a really great team behind me helping me out, and together we were able to just get it all done. We kind of got it done at the last minute, but we're here. The clock never stopped ticking. This season was going to happen regardless, but we managed to get it all done in time, and we're excited to get going here for 2018.
Well, you know what, George? It all gets started tonight here with the All-Star race. Even though things remain the same, things are a little bit different. How much time you get to spend in the car this year? I know that's something you've been struggling with, your time in the car.
Yeah, that's always a difficult question, especially when things have kind of progressed to the level where they're at now. My heart is always going to be, in the car as a driver, but, my responsibility lies with organizing the league and making sure everything runs smoothly. So I think once the season gets going, we kind of have our program. We've got everything figured out. The hard work, I believe, is behind us. Now we're just going to kind of go into cruise mode. We've been doing this now almost 4 years, and I think you'll see me plenty this season.
All right, George. Well, good talking to you to get this thing kicked off now. We're going to move along here and let everybody know that interview, along with everything else during these 15 streamy, award-worthy minutes, comes courtesy of the Countdown to Green sponsor, the SimPit. Yes, the SimPit, an entertainment channel dedicated to sim racing, bringing you news, reviews, and information from around the world about sim racing hardware and software. It also focuses on what it takes to be a better sim racer with instructional video and the how-tos that will help your performance on the virtual track. Check it out at thesimpit.com. Soup, plenty to talk about today. Let's talk about this facility here, Homestead Miami Speedway. You know, there's a big 1.5 mile oval that surrounds this track, but today it'll be the 2.21 mile road course, 10 turns here on this beautiful 600-acre facility just 40 miles south in the long shadow of Miami Beach. You know, they built this track in an effort to help the area recover from the devastation of Hurricane Andrew way back in the 90s. They opened this on November 3rd of 1995, and in 2003, a second major rebuilding program of the oval course commenced with a $12 million rebanking project that transformed the track from a flat 6 degrees to a computer design 18 to 20 degree variable banking system in the turns. Now, that's important, but the road course has settled into hosting Grand Am events until 2013, and more recently the Trans Am Series. In both cases, a new road course configuration using the banking and bypassing the final section of the original road course has been used. So we'll be driving on that track today. 1,005 palm trees of 15 different varieties surround this track.
You gotta love Florida. Now, you know, let's talk a little bit about this series. Lionheart Sanctions 2 Series, the long-running IndyCar series, which is considered the premier fixed setup racing league for the Dallara DW12 and soon to be the new IR18 car here on the iRacing service. Now, earning an equal reputation of late for the Lotus 79 car is our featured series today, the younger Lionheart Retro Series. And as always, Lionheart honors the late Dan Weldon, keeping his memory alive. Now, Crackers, that was an overview of the series. How about we get to some of the details?
And these series come to you thanks to the Sim Pit. Season details here, Season 2. This, of course, is a non-points exhibition race here, the All-Star event in the Lotus 79. This is a fixed setup that has been worked on and tweaked by the league. Soup, the big number here, cash and prizes in this series, over $4,391 in cash and various trophies.
Sure. Are you sure that's not a typo? That's actually 4 with a comma than 391?
No, I saw the breakdown. Yeah.
We're in the wrong business. We need to get
we
need to get down on the track. My gosh. Well, as the season goes on, we'll talk more about all the wonderful prizes and cash prizes that they have and some cool prizes as well. But Sean, as the sun titanics into the Floridian sky, what's the weather like?
Soup, let's look at the weather because it's a beautiful day here for racing. It's partly cloudy out. It's 87 degrees outside, but look at that track temperature, Soup. Grip is going to be a premium today with 113 degrees on track. That's going to be tough to deal with. Not too worried about the wind. 8 miles an hour, not bad out of the southwest, but a lot of humidity, a lot of temperature on the track. It's going to make things maybe a little bit slick out there.
So this is a novelty and all-star race here, so we kind of have a little novel format going on. It's kind of a doubleheader tonight, right?
It is, Soup. Yes, we've got the doubleheader this evening going here, and we'll have this transfer race, and then we'll get on to the feature event of the night for the All-Star event.
And I believe if my stats are correct, and Lord knows I have been swamped with sponsors and statistics, and I'm overwhelmed. If I remember right, I believe the top 2 finishers today will transfer over into the main event. Does that sound right to you?
That is correct, sir. Yes, that's what we're looking at this evening, and boy, these events are always great. I love the All-Star event. In fact, we'll have the All-Star IndyCar event coming up next week from Darlington. There's a track for you, Sue.
Yes, that's going to be fun. In fact, we'll be returning, I believe, next week, though, actually, I think it is next week, if I remember my script. They're going to open with the Retro Series from right here on this very racetrack, but it'll be the oval.
That's correct. Yes, sir. It will be opening on the oval. So get to spend a couple weeks here in Southern Florida, but the event at hand is the one we're worried about now, and that they're qualifying for this 11-lap transfer race. That's everybody, of course, that's not yet in the main event. And then we will follow that up with the 33 lap shootout. We've got 15 drivers locked into that main event right now.
So,
Wow.
so Sean, since this is the first race of really this series, we might have a lot of new viewers. What is that car they're driving there? It kind of looks like an IndyCar, but not really.
That is the Lotus 79, and boy, what a fine machine that is. A blast from the past that has a lot of rumble and a lot of grunt to it. You know what, Soup? It's pretty close to probably one of my favorite cars on the iRacing service. It is a workout. It fights you. No power steering on this machine. Be ready for the shoulders and for the forearms to ache on you a little bit after some time in this car.
One of the first cars to actually deploy or employ ground effects, which is the channeling, the sculpturing of the bottom part of the car to actually suck it to the ground the faster it goes.
Yeah, and another thing about this car is that when the fuel load starts to drop off on this machine, boy, it really it gets quicker, and I mean it gets a lot quicker. So your best racing generally found in those last 10 laps when the fuel is really run out on these things, and everybody just kind of getting it out there on the edge.
Funny thing about ground effects, they were just learning about it at this very same time. The reverse rule, Sean, you may not know about this one. Airplane called the Gossamer Condor. It was a human-powered airplane that used ground effects in reverse, where the air would actually the distance from the ground would actually keep the airplane up, and then the bicyclist would pedal real hard to go over the obstacles that they needed to go over. Check it out on Wiki. There,
you say Gossamer, and I think goose. Now we've introduced a condor, and I've got to go look that up.
It was a man-powered airplane using ground effects. The same rule applied here that keeps these cars on the ground. It was the same rule that kept the airplane aloft. Looks like Justin Weavers. We look at George Anzaldo. Get that one out of the way first. There, very opening season. I mispronounced the series organizer's name. Never good for the broadcast company to do that. Justin Weaver is our pole sitter.
Memories of Alfonso in the wall.
Woody Mahan is back. Now, a lot of these guys we're very familiar with from the IndyCar series, but they didn't race full-time last season, so they'll have to work their way over into the main event.
Now, he's gone from Woodrow to Woody, and I know in the past I recommended he go to Wood. Just Wood, just drop the Y. But I guess he's going to roll with Woody this season.
I like Woody. Well, certainly has a friend in us, because he's certainly a very good driver and is getting faster every race. Looking at one of our favorites and fan favorite as well, Ed Tutwiler. Looks like Ed has not had that car in his traditional paint shop. That looks that's the polar bear car. Is that white? Is that the color I'm seeing, or is there a little tint to that one?
Boy, it looks pretty white to me. Trying to get a look at it now. No, it's white, so it's all the way white, pearl white.
Ed is notorious for his paint schemes, but out there in the pearl white machine right now, has yet to put in a qualifying time. He's got a few more minutes to get it done.
I'm going to assume that there is a message behind this, okay? Because the helmet, the car, everything matches for Ed, so something's going on there.
Well, you know.
Oh, our director bails that one out. He says that's the Stig. He's the Stig.
I was hoping he was just being kind to the commentator that has problems with rods and cones. He decided just to take all the color off of his car. Now we're looking at Tyler Groff. Tyler's qualified in 6. Go ahead, Sean.
These cars were powered by that Ford Cosworth DFV, and construction of, I think they were sheet aluminum is what they used to put these cars together, kind of a honeycomb, and one single fuel cell right behind the driver.
And with qualifying being done, I forgot I have a plug here to read. When it is time to go racing, remember, When it's time to go racing, nothing beats the feel of a true hydraulic braking system from HPP Simulations, designed and manufactured in the USA on state-of-the-art CNC equipment. HPP hydraulic pedals and their accessories set the standard for simulation racing. For more information, please visit hppsimulation.com. I almost forgot about that one. They're a big part of this series. Let's run down the starting order right now. On the front row, it's Justin Weaver and Woody Mahan. Sean?
Frank Beazer, Ron Hacker occupy row 2, not turn 2.
Scott Johnson and Tyler Groff in row 3.
George Anzaldo, Chris Lanini in row 4.
Robert Bluen and Peter Edwins make up the 5th row.
Row 6 going to be Eddie Tutwiler and Dave Cordy, and then the 13th car on this grid going to be Andrew Kinsella. Actually, Kinsella's not gridding. And you know what? I think Kinsella and Cordy are actually both in race control.
Race control.
Right.
We've seen a lot of Andrew Kinsella. He's actually doing some cross-pollination as he's racing in the Absolute Beginner IndyCar Series. Here we cover alternate Saturdays on the Global SimRacing Channel. A series for the Dallara DW12 as well. We have in-car cameras, but we're not going to have any here for this sprint race, this transfer event. But it is a good opportunity for our director to use up some of his artsy camera sets that Peter has given him here. That's a nice looking back at the tail. And there we're looking at Peter Edwins. Look at that Florida sky pushing down on the racetrack. Oh, that one's kind of tilted. That's kind of your Batman cam. If you're old enough to remember the old Batman series when the villains were always shown tilted.
You know what?
Yes.
I'm so glad you brought that up because
I'm glad. I've been saving it.
The first time I saw that camera, I said, that looks familiar, and it never really occurred to me.
Okay.
But that's it, Soup. You nailed it. Hashtag nailed it.
There you go. And unfortunately, I believe hashtag nailed it, that team, which notoriously does well. I don't think they're coming back in the IndyCar League this season. But that's really not what we're talking about right now. Right now, we have 11 laps of racing. Let's go ahead and bring up the race analysis brought to you by that'd be Lock Precision. There we have it right there. We'll show you that again later, but you can see that the transfer race is 11 laps. The all-star race will be 33 laps. The max fuel run will be 28. That's not going to matter here, as this is going to be a sprint, and the incident cap 17x. Boy, if you picked up 17x over 11 laps, you deserve to get disqualified.
How many laps, Soup?
11. Did I say 11? Yes. Huh?
Sure, that'll work.
All right.
I'm adding that one to the dictionary as soon as we're done.
Getting them all out of my system early on. It's a long season, so let's get them done. They go down into corner number 6 here. A pair of right-handers. This is kind of the infield section where it's cut out.
I'm getting information now. Andrew Kinsella checking in, Soup. He had laser eye surgery this morning. Ouch.
Well, what he needs to do, he needs to this race let his other senses take over.
Yeah.
I know a lot of drivers. I'll tell you a story if we have time, how Jackie Stewart says he avoided a crash one time by sense of smell. He smelt the grass of a car that had gone off track. He smelled it in the air and got on the binders, and that's what kept him from crashing. Right now, they work through corner number 8. This takes us back out onto the main oval. So basically, Sean, this is pretty much the entire oval except for 1 and 2. In between 1 and 2, you kind of hit down into the infield part.
Yeah, and then you head into what is not really a hairpin, but more of a right-hander to a very, very, very short straight, almost kind of like a U-bolt down there at the infield section.
I think that's what they call it, the U-bolt.
The U-bolts, okay. Because they didn't provide us with any names here at this track, Soup.
This is America. We don't have corner names in America. At least on Rovals here. All right, the pace car is pulling in. We got 11 laps in store for us. Doubleheader event tonight. This is the overture, the appetizer. Yeah, they're at the chicken steak covering behind the cows because the horses are out of the barn. And oh my goodness, Justin Bobbin Weaver gets out of like a shot, leads the field down into the first corner.
Ooh. And Frank Beezer, Ron Hacker, they're almost getting together there in turn 2. Ooh.
Oh, very aggressive on the inside there from Scott Johnson. Right behind Tyler Graff. Hacker in 4th. Beezer locks into 3rd. But right now, everybody looking ahead of the top 2 drivers in the transfer position. Justin Weaver and Woody Mahan.
Everybody's still going here.
Our pre-race interview, George Anzaldo sits back in 7th spot, just ahead of Chris Lanini.
George doing a good job here early.
They head out on to the oval now, coming around, looking to lead lap number 1. We might actually have a pass for the lead. Here comes Woody Mahan, actually going to test it out. They hit number 1 one more time, working on lap number 2 this time. How about a shout out to Frank Beezer, holding on in 3rd.
Yeah. Frank got a great start, and the Texans still having a good time here, keeping Hacker in the mirror.
Got a big name behind him, the veteran Ron Hacker, looking to get up. Good news for Beezer, he's racing in 3rd. The bad news is he's fallen 1.3 seconds behind the top 2 drivers.
I think Beezer going with an actual old school Lotus 79 paint scheme on that car. I just don't know if I'm familiar with it.
It's pretty. It's black. No, it's also red. There we go.
Yeah, it's red and it's kind of maroon and it's kind of black, but yeah, it's mainly red. So, oh,
well,
and boy, he's about to give this position up. Ron Hacker tries. Hacker took a look going into the turn. Ooh.
And now peeking in there, that's Tyler Groff. As they are side by side, they go through the right-hander. And that's going to give the position back to Ron Hacker. Look at Groff back there battling in 5th. No full car cautions. It's all, as we ride on board, that pass was made. Was that Groff going by Hacker? I guess we were on there, yeah. Local cautions only. Hacker now under attack from Scott Johnson in the 07 machine. Meanwhile, Justin Weaver has a 2.2 lead over Woody Mahan, who's opened that up to about 2.5 seconds over Beezer. Love that shot. They come right at you. They come across now. Our leader working lap number 4. Nice battle for 5th position. That's Scott Johnson with Graff challenging him. They're holding him up.
And Hacker at the front of that train there, holding on to 4th place. Anzaldo not able to mount much of a charge though behind Graff there. Graff keeping the road in front of him kind of blocked. Anzaldo got to be careful here though, because Lanini is all over his gearbox.
Let's stay on this a bit as they come out. I think Lanini might be close enough. They can get a good exit out of this hairpin here on apron. They got to whoa up in the gears, then open it up. I think he's close enough now when they come out onto the oval. Although Anzaldo starts to pull away. These are fixed setups, so they're all driving the same machine. It's really in the hands of the driver. Series organizers like to give them a setup that's raceable, but also easy to race, that keeps you out of the wall. Anzaldo able to fend off Lanini that time as he does not make a move. Meanwhile, up in front, Johnson almost got punted by Graff. Graff have to check up, and that's going to allow Anzaldo to get by. That was all about lack of momentum the Graff lost when he got almost into the gearbox of Scott Johnson. Sean, I've never called a race from this track before, but as far as rolls go, I like it.
Yeah, not too bad, Soup. It's not a bad rollable configuration at all. The only thing I haven't seen yet are any really good passes being made yet. And maybe that's because we've got a limited number of cars in the field, but boy, things have spread out. There is a good battle at the back of the field. I mean, Peter Edwards, and put some money in the jar for me there, Soup. Peter Edwards and Robert Bluen are having a really, really good battle. Bluen now finally getting by in that Dragonfly Racing Lotus 79 sponsored by HPP. Finally there, gets around Pete Edwards. Now Pete looks to maybe draft off him a little bit, maybe take the spot back down into turn one.
How about our director in mid-season form there with that great panning shot on board?
He's good.
We really are spoiled up here in the booth. So that battle for 10th between Edwins and Bluen out in front. Actually, a battle for 9th, I guess.
And, you know, our crack research team, hard at work, Soup, got some information on Frank Beezer's sponsor.
I was hoping for information on the Gossamer Condor, but okay, go ahead. We'll go.
I'll look on that later. But
okay.
Quantum Vibe Chateau Perlu is a comic strip written by a gentleman named Scott Beezer, who I do happen to know is his brother. So quantumvibe.com. Check it out. It's rather interesting. I of course I'm not reading a comic right now while I'm watching the race, but that's what I found, and I bookmarked it. I'll check it out later. So
okay. Let's go back to P6. This is Groff. Remember, he lost that position to Johnson there when he had to check up, and actually Anzaldo got around him. Well, Graf now has that back. He's back up into 6. Anzaldo trying to run him down. Chris Lanini not able to do anything. Sean, I get the hunch that a lot of these guys are just using this as just kind of a dusting off the rust, shaking off the rust type of thing, so they can come back and race when they're racing for real next week.
Well, I'll tell you what, there's been plenty of opportunity to get the rust off, as drivers have had lots of practice sessions afforded to them, and that's one of the great things that the Lionheart series does, Soup, is there's no shortage of opportunities to practice with the group, and they even work on all the setups together. So trust me, drivers have been preparing for a while. They just wrapped up their off-season challenge series, which was a lot of fun. I got to participate in a few events myself.
Did you see the checker flag in any?
No, Soup, I didn't see
all right.
Checker flag in any. I'm working on it though, buddy. I'm working on it.
Okay. Well, I mean, you can see the checker flag even if you come home 23rd. You didn't get to the end of a race, is what I'm hearing then, huh?
Yeah.
All right. We don't need to drill down on it. That's fine. Let's let it go. All right. Up in front, Justin Weaver, 5.8 seconds. Now, remember, we're not seeing much of Justin right now, but the pace that he's showing, we have no idea what that's going to look like when we put him in with the guys in the main event. So keep an eye on Justin Weaver and Woody Mayhem. Doubleheader tonight.
Well, Justin in that classic mild 7 scheme from the Lotus 79 era. Moby Dickey's, of course, his sponsor. Been on board with him since last season.
Love Moby. Hello to everyone at Moby Dickey's. They're yelling at us right now. They're watching this one.
I want to get down there for some chicken tenders.
Man, it sounds like a fun place. Looking at Justin Weaver right now.
Big boat of fries.
Ahead of Woody Mayhem.
Maybe some clams. I'm sorry, Soup. I'm just trying to get you hungry here.
It's working. Looking at P3. It's been a long day of preparation here for the Lionheart series, getting all of our ducks in a row. Frank Beezer continues to have a great race. Now closing in on him one more time, Ron Hacker. I think Hacker would like to get him here. They come out of 8. Let's see if he's close enough. All about the drive off of here. If he can stay close enough, then get in the tow. maybe make the pass down into one. Let's stay on these guys as we ride off the tail of Beezer. Oh, here he comes. 4 car lengths, 3 car lengths, 2 car lengths, 1 car length. Now the swing to the outside.
Right here, pass.
Side by side, but he didn't get there. They're going to have to work it hard down into one. And Francis holds him off, but now a little hucklebuck, a little dipsy-do, a little up and under for Ron Hacker.
Ooh. Look at Ron. Look at you, dude. Great pass by Ron Hacker there.
That was pretty. Great driving from Beezer, great driving from Hacker as well. Good news for Hacker, he moves up to third. Bad news is he is 4.3 seconds behind the transfer position, currently held by Woody Mayhem. There's Woody all by himself. Right now, working lap number 10. Just got to keep it on the gray part of the property, and everything should be okay for Woody Mayhem.
Woody Mayhem driving for Clipping That Apex.
One of our sponsors.
Yes, it is.
I believe they are an apparel company. As our leader comes across to get the white flag, Justin Mayhem. Oh, sorry, Justin Weaver. There you go, Justin Weaver.
That's all right. I've got, what is it, Peter Blue and Robert Edwins back here. Soup, we've been all over the road with it. It's all right. Boy, Beezer really trying to take another look at Ron Hacker here. He's fighting hard. Last lap.
There's Ron Hacker. I think he's feeling comfortable in third. Meanwhile, our leader now going into a corner that needs a name, number 8. Back out onto a corner that needs no name. This is actually 9 right now. It's a little transition segment up onto the oval. And because it's a NASCAR track, they call this little sweeping left-hander. 2 corners, 10 and 11. Nothing but straight line now as Justin Weaver is going to win the transfer event. Woody Mayhem is going to get second. Let's check back in on Ron Hacker and Frank Beezer. Looks like Hacker's got it.
He does. Frank just a little bit too far out. Probably kicking himself just a bit for giving that spot up.
Battle for 7th. George Anzaldo trying to fend off Chris Lanini. And Anzaldo gets it by a half a car length. He's going to get credited with 7th. Lanini for 8th. Bluen, Edwins are going to come around in 10th and 11th.
Weiler gets there in 9th, Soup. Or I should say the Stig.
And there you have it. Now, to be honest, I'm not sure what I'm supposed to do now, if we're supposed to go to break or wait for interviews. We are at a loss. I think it's time for break, then we'll come back. Now, the racing is over here for the 11-lap transfer event, but our coverage is long from done because the main event is still on tap, with the best part of any doubleheader being the break between the races, that perfect blend of a post-race high and the pre-race jitters. While you all enjoy that cocktail of emotions, GSRC is going to step away for just a moment, only to return to bring you the action from the 33-lap main event. No clicking.
The Sim Pit is an entertainment channel dedicated to the world of simulated motorsports. The Sim Pit is a leader in providing the sim racing community with news, reviews, interviews, DIY pieces, and instructional videos to make sim racing a better experience for all. Check us out at thesimpit.com or go to YouTube and just search for The Sim Pit.
Presented by HPP Simulations. Welcome back to the Global SimRacing Channel's coverage of the inaugural Lionheart Retro Series All-Star Race, sponsored by DwarsCandy.com. Sean, the little transfer race, pretty darn exciting.
Boy, it certainly was, Soup. And you know what? We've caught up with the winner of the transfer race, Justin Weaver. Justin, that Lotus 79 was a pretty hot ride here at Homestead. Tell us how it felt in the cockpit there.
I definitely felt pretty solid there. This track seems to be a pretty rhythm racetrack, especially that infield section. And once I got a good start, it was kind of downhill from that. Just made sure I kept it straight there. So it was really fun, actually. So I'm glad I was able to transfer in there.
Justin and Soup here. So with the dominance, are you all chocked full of confidence now? Go out and get yourself a win?
I'd be lying to you if I didn't have a little extra pep in my step after doing good work last night, and then tonight doing kind of the same thing there. But we got the big dogs here in the All-Star race. They're the ones that got the wins and the poles there last year. So it's definitely going to be a challenge, but I definitely got some good practice and seats nice and warm here. So we're definitely looking forward to it.
Get you out here on this one. You want to let the cat out of the bag? What's the pit stop strategy? Run it long? Come in early?
Tell you the truth, I got to talk to my teammates about that. So we're just gonna run it. We're gonna run it until we need to pit and trouble and get in there and get back out there and do our best. So,
All right.
We're worried about getting in there. That was the first goal. So.
Go get some practice in, and we'll see you down the road.
All right, thanks, guys. Appreciate it.
Sean, that was Justin Weaver, our winner today. He sounded like he's ready.
Yeah, Soup. He definitely sounds like he's ready. Ready to get out here and mix it up with these guys. Most of which are on track now, circling around this gorgeous facility.
One of these days, we're actually going to find, I'm going to ask a driver that question, and they're going to give me the honest answer. It's amazing how many of them haven't figured out their strategy. I think it's the polite way of saying, never mind. I got to talk to my team, figure it out, and then we'll let you know after the race. All right, we think they can go about 28 laps. This is 33, so it's either a three ways you can do it. Come in early, come in late, or split it up right in half. Personally, I think fuel is an issue. I think you want the car as light as possible, so you might as well race it till it's dry and just splash and go and race it again while it's almost dry.
Yeah, Soup. Boy, what am I a fan of? You know what? I like the strategy that has fuel in the tank coming across the line.
There you go.
At the end. Okay, that's what I'm a fan of. I don't want to run it short.
That said, if you want to see an interesting fuel race, go ahead and check out the Autobahn series that we covered just last week. Boy, that was an exciting one.
Or the truck or the truck race from Sunday.
That's right. Very, very interesting stuff. I love iRacing does a good job. It simulates real world racing in so many ways, including the drivers having to thank their sponsors at the interviews.
Now, Soup, they are advancing the session now here, buddy. Time to go racing.
All right. And we can't give you the order yet because it's preset. We have to wait for iRacing to populate the grid. But when it does, we'll give it to you. And we'll talk. Oh, I apologize. It is qualifying. I thought it was already preset from earlier. So right now they'll go out and get this done in qualifying. Well, let's give it a good chance to watch some of the drivers, get familiar with who's here today.
Hey, look at that.
Sean, long time no see for Samuel Ryman, huh?
Yeah, I just wrapped up a broadcast with him a little bit. So he's out of the chair and into the seat behind the wheel here at Homestead. Just got finished calling the Ad Pro 360 Challenge Series just prior to this race. So he's got to get out of that NASCAR mentality and now get into the mentality of driving this Lotus 79, this Ford Cosworth beast around this road course, this Roval here at Homestead. There's Ryan Otis.
Oh my, the big O.
The big O.
Right on board with Ryan. Always fast. Probably finishes a little farther down than his talent would let you believe.
Otis in one of our onboard cameras today in the butt kicker. Cam, a new sponsor to the league, butt kicker. Soup, you know what a butt kicker is?
I do know what a butt kicker. In fact, I even know some technical stuff about butt kicker. Most of those type of things, they do it with speakers that push air, but the butt kicker actually is physical. It actually moves your butt, and gives you a more realistic feel.
See, I thought you were going to shoot back Chuck Norris when I said butt kicker. So,
well, that's certainly one too. He's a little more expensive, but I think if you have enough, he'll come in. He'll sit behind you. You know what I do? I use my wife. I give her a frying pan, and every time I put it in the wall, she just bangs me on the shoulder with the frying pan. I'm all about immersion and realism. Looking at Chris Stouffer. His parents were really sneaky as they decided to give him a first name and just put a space between it. Thereby, Christopher.
Yeah, and you know what, Chris in that in that famous camel paint scheme, once driven by a young man named James Hunt. Actually drove
There you
that
go.
car at one time, way back when. Many great drivers actually were associated with that livery at one time or another, but James Hunt was in that. I believe Ayrton Senna even had a turn at a camel livery at one time.
Those were the days when cigarettes could sponsor cars. You could ride in a car without a seatbelt and ride your bike without a helmet. Right on board with another onboard camera. It is the Candyman, Dustin Wardlow.
The Candy Mag acknowledging with me, Soup, earlier today that is a nickname that he has become a big fan of, by the way. So
He can make the sun shine. Right now, he'd like to get a win. Dwar's Candy. If you want yourself a special gift, check out dwarscandy.com.
ooh, look at that.
I know
Justin-
him.
Yeah, Justin Weaver just going to the top of the charts with a 108.863.
Yes, I think the confidence carried over from the transfer race.
I think so.
He's about 1/100th of a second faster than Ryan Otis. Another driver I like to watch is the 74 machine of Adam Blocker. This could be his season. Well, that's a good question. We have a profile for Adam Blocker, but let's wait a little bit on this one, and we don't want to jinx him early. Let's let him. What do you think, Sean? We'll give him 3 or 4 laps before we profile, and that's notoriously when drivers have trouble.
Yeah. Now, something to keep in mind here, this qualifying here, they do have 4 laps, Soup, afforded to them to get their very best run in. So drivers out here still searching for speed. Brian Yosik's one of them.
Yosik just had a nice lap up to P4, and Otis, Sean, what happened there?
Up to P1 with a 108.5.
Wow.
A full 3/10 second, 3/10 faster than Justin Weaver. On board with Yosik here. He also in the HPP Cam today. Yes, Yosik, Loud Pedal Motorsports own the beard. Fear the beard, Soup.
Well, we told you how Justin Weaver was doing. Let's talk about our other transfer driver. That would be Woody Mahan. He just had a little trip through the Florida Fescue. He's back out there right now, currently in 9th. This lap is not going to count.
Well, we hadn't even talked about Jason Galvin yet. There he is. Back in the Quaker State livery.
Boy, look at those colors.
It's bright.
Yeah, that's a throwback car. How about one of our favorite drivers, because he feeds us, the number 17, Bob Mikas.
Ah, yes. There's
Not in
Bob.
the Von Hansen's meat machine today, in a more traditional paint scheme.
In that John Player special. Once driven by Mario Andretti.
I believe that is the championship paint scheme right there that got Andretti the championship, I think, in 79.
Joe Branch on screen now.
Not having a good day, sitting in 15th of 15 cars.
Joe in the.
Go ahead.
Go ahead. I was just going to say.
I'm going there too.
Yeah, in the Budweiser machine. The king of beer, Soup.
We used to cover a series that had a driver named Bud Weiser.
I know Budweiser.
Yeah.
I raced with him for but in fact, Bud has been around since the
Long time.
NASCAR heat days. He's been around for a long time, going back to the late 90s.
Obviously, he would race the Budweiser machine as well. As we look at our Dustin Weaver there, or Dustin Weaver. Dustin Wardlow, sorry. The Candyman. Bringing it into the pits. Finished in 6th position. Okay, I think we can go to our grid right now. Let's take them a row at a time. And it is really no surprise up here. It is Ryan Otis, who you would expect to be fast, and Justin Weaver, who we know is fast. Sean?
We certainly do, but it looks like Ryan Otis was the fast man there. In row 2, Adam Blocker, Brian Yosik. Yosik getting up to 4th.
Not too far back, easily in striking position, Michael Goodman, and the Candyman, Dustin Wardlow.
Row 4, James Jimmy Crahula with Jason Galvin starting here in 8th.
In 9th, the runner-up in the transfer event, Woody Mahan, inside of Ron Hacker.
Okay, row 6, it's Pierre Degla and Bob Migas.
In the Baker's Dozen spot is Christopher, inside of GSRC's own Samuel Ryman.
And completing the field will be Joe Branch, starting in 15th. Dave Cordy sitting in race control.
They'll have one pace lap around, as this track is about a mile around. Let me correct myself, over a mile around, so we only get one pace lap. Wait for all the drivers to come out. 33 laps of racing. And qualifying, there's still, I guess we are still waiting for qualifying is still going on here, as there's a few minutes. Everybody's put in their time. So right now, drivers are taking care of everything they need to take care of, buckling up their belts, kissing their wives, waving to the baby. Sean, Ryan Otis got to be a favorite to win this thing.
Somebody proved to me that they can beat Ryan here. You know what? Look for Weaver. He talked about this being a rhythm track. Well, he certainly had a lot of rhythm in that opening race, and he did last night in the practice race. Look for Weaver to give him all he can handle, and you know what? Don't count out Adam Blocker. Blocker, a seasoned road racer, and you know what? I could pick him just as easily as I could Ryan Otis today.
15 drivers on the grid. They'll be racing all season long this wonderful retro Lotus 79. Race control going on right now. Giving their instructions. David Courtney very happy as he says, "Oh, I've got a captive audience." He's going to give out all the instructions, and then, if time allows, break into some show tunes.
What's your favorite show tune, Sue?
Oh, I personally like to sing "I Feel Pretty." You haven't lived unless you've heard me sing that one.
Oh, what a beautiful morning.
That's a good one.
Yes. Everything's going my way.
Such a optimistic song. Excuse me there as I forget how to use the cough button.
Kind of gets choked up a little bit thinking about it, didn't it?
Yes, you did there. I was actually thinking where that was from.
Oklahoma.
I thought it was Oklahoma.
Yes.
There you go. The hay is as high as an elephant's eye, I believe is the line on that one.
That is the line. Oh, I know way too much of that. Okay, so we digress. We are here for a race.
Well, this is what happens when they have a long wait here on pit lane. Yeah. We're forced to fill.
Well,
Lord knows I have a ton of sponsors things I could read, but I don't have those with me here.
Race control is very wordy right now.
Now they finally get them rolling. Pace car is away. The race control saying keep the channel clear. Be respectful of the other drivers as we look on the backman cam again.
"33 laps, Soup."
Well, in the words of the great Chicago Cubs shortstop Ernie Banks, let's play two. That's what we're doing here today. The transfer race is in the books, and now we go over to the feature race. The main event, 33 laps, 1 pit stop. Our pole sitter, Ryan Otis. This means a lot to the drivers. They hope there are no points involved. It doesn't mean anything like that, but it would sure be nice to get your season underway with a little confidence, knowing as you go into the ones that count, that you got a good finish under your belt.
What did James Brown used to say? Get off on the good foot.
Okay, that is.
He didn't say that, right, Soup? Help me
I
out
believe
here.
he did. James Brown. He was all about the one. Just wanted to hear the one, which was the very first beat of the song. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. And right now, Ryan Otis trying to get the rhythm as he works his way through 6 and 7. Now up into 8. The corner that Lord knows needs a name. Luckily, we're going to be done with this race before I christen it with one.
By the way, Brian Yosik gave us free reign to name all of these corners and said he expected them all to be named by the end of the race. I think we're going to fail him with that. Soup.
I think, yes, there is a policy here on GSRC. They worry that someone's going to tune in halfway through the race and think that we don't know what we're talking about. Well, right now, the pace car is working through NASCAR. How about this? I'll give you names for this. NASCAR 3 and 4. As we are here in beautiful Miami, Florida, the flattest state of the nation.
The anticipation is mounting and it's about to relieve itself here, Soup.
Well,
I don't know if I meant to say it that way.
Thankfully, the pace car is in. Let me say, I'll go a different way. Chug-a-lug makes you want to holler, hi-da-ho. And it is Ryan Otis leading the cars down into the first corner. Justin, we got a big problem.
Galvin is around. It looks like he might have had a little help.
I don't know if he had help. Actually, he did, and then he rolls in front. We'll come back and get it on the replay. He rolls in front of a couple cars, one of them being Chris Stouffer.
Yeah, we'll get another look at it, but I think James Grahula might have gotten just a small piece of.
Well, they want to get that out of the way here when it doesn't matter. Meanwhile, up in front, Ryan Otis has a nice lead over Justin Weaver as the top 2 cars begin to distance themselves. Adam Blocker, Brian Yosik, and the Candyman Dustin Wardlow, in 5th.
Hey, what? Back here in 9th, Ron Hacker picked up too quick. Woody Mahan wants it back, but he can't get there. He can't get to Hacker. He's trying to get back to him. Boy, but everybody behind our leaders is really starting to lose touch quick here.
Now we're going to go ahead and look at the replay here. This is Galvin. And who else did you think was involved? What did you say was Yosik?
I think you're going to see James Grahula just behind Galvin here. Grahula in that Dayglow green car down to the bottom. That highlighter yellow actually is a better way.
I'm gonna let him off the hook. I don't think he had anything to do with it. I think that was all Mr. Galvin.
Yeah, I think you're right, man. It did on that angle. It certainly looked like Galvin just swung it all the way out to the right. Chris Stouffer gets caught up in that too, on board with Bob Mikas.
Bob Mikas going to have a good view of this one. There you see the car getting loose in front. He gets on the brakes. Oh, but by the time he gets there, Galvin rolls in front of him. Now we're getting back live. Here is Justin Weaver. And he is back in 9th position. He was racing in 2nd. What has happened? Oh, he looped it.
He did, Sue. He loops it right out of that U-bolt there out of turn 7.
Oh, but he sticks the landing. We're going to give him an 8.5 on this one. Boy, you can see the car squiggle just a little bit on the corner entry.
And he's going to get right back to it. Right out in front of Woody Mayhem.
Well, that's exactly how they raced in the transfer event, so they're back together again. Good news for Ryan Otis now. His biggest competition after that 360 means that Ryan Otis has a 2.5 second lead over Adam Blocker. Brian Yosik back in third. Everyone cycles up the spot. Dustin Wardlow to fourth. Now inside your top five, Michael Goodman.
Well, they did what they shouldn't have, Soup. You know what that is?
What is that?
They let Ryan Otis get out into the clean air and just have a little bit of fun here.
Oh, but Ryan Otis will break your heart. Don't go away, friends and family of Ryan Otis. I've seen this too many times. He is the Lloyd Ruby of Lionheart Racing, if you're old enough to know Lloyd Ruby. If you don't know, I'll just give you his nickname, Hard Luck Lloyd. The real act. Oh, something will go to Krahula.
Oh boy.
As he just looped it around all by himself. But I guess when you... Oh, I misread his car. I thought it said slippery. It's JMK Supply, so there we have it. And again, a nice little pirouette. And he's back racing now in 10th. Weaver having another off. Let's look at Mahan and Justin Weaver really going at it. Weaver off though again, but yeah.
And it just seems like Weaver misjudged the braking there by Woody Mayhem, and he almost runs him over, but actually gets into him. And
now here he comes for sixth. As look at that, there goes Weaver on the inside. Oh, sorry, that's Mahan. I apologize. Mahan on the inside of Hacker. And move Woody one spot out of the top five.
All right, now, Soup, you're not seeing double. Ron Hacker, Justin Weaver in the same livery.
Oh, see, now that is just... I swear they get together and think of ways to cause the commentators problems. Oh, and a car going off. It looks like that was Justin Weaver again having more trouble. He was under attack by Krahula.
Man, he's just not having any luck at all.
I'm not sure. We're thinking something is up with him. Maybe he's just trying to save fuel. I don't know what's going on here. Well, now he comes in for a pit stop.
Okay, Krahula gets by Degla. Oof, make quick work of it. Krahula up to 8th. He's down into turn 1.
So after a little bit of an issue, now up to 8th for Krahula. Qualified in 7th, trying to get back where he started. They're working lap number 6. Remember, there is a pit stop that everyone will need to make, with the exception of, well, Samuel Ryman coming in. Ryman and Justin Weaver both making their stops. And Weaver clearly must have just things. I think he just finally had enough of it.
I'm just surprised that things didn't work out for him after, like I said, the past couple nights of really dominating this track. And so early on in this event, he's out.
Well, my dad used to say, if ifs were fifths, we'd all be drunk. So what could have been for Justin Weaver is not.
See, and I always heard if ifs and buts were candies and nuts, we'd all have a good Christmas. So
There you go. Don't start. I got a million of them, Sean.
well, Otis is up to his old tricks. Soup, new season, old tricks from Ryan Otis. A butt kicker, HPP simulation. Lotus 79 is now in the lead by 3.6 seconds. Blocker, though, just an update. I mean, he did have a faster lap last trip around. So you can't blame the guy for trying to close the gap here.
3.5 seconds probably in the error margin. If you were to miss your box, might cost you maybe 2 seconds to find your spot. All these things can happen to Ryan Otis and have happened to him. And honestly, the interval beginning to shrink. Otis now down to 2.5. Blocker beginning to come. Trying to bring with him, if he can, Brian Yosik.
Yeah, you know what? Yosik is doing a great job of just staying relevant here. It's going to come down to the pit stops, but Yosik really, really has a bit of his own rhythm going right now, and it looks pretty good.
Hard to tell you much about a hard charger, but the best we can do is 3 positions. Chris Stouffer, Woody Mahan, and Ron Hacker all up 3.
Bob Mike is just coming out of the pits, just completed his stop, Soup. So he leads all the cars right now.
Sure
They're
does.
for a pit.
Including Samuel Ryman. Mike is out in front by 2.1 seconds over Ryman, who races in the Baker's dozen spot. Bob Mike is 1 spot up in the 12th position.
You know, we never checked back with Jason Galvin after he had that trouble early, Soup. He's kept it on track with a damaged wing. Has decent pace, but he's not quick and going to really struggle to get back to the front. As I say that, it looks like Galvin has decided to go ahead and bring it in now to the pits.
He was pretty much in no man's land, about 7 seconds behind Stouffer and about 15 seconds ahead of Bob Mikas. So he'll bring that in. Doubt if he's going to get out ahead of Mikas. Mikas right now going through NASCAR 10 and 11. And I think Galvin's stop will probably be longer than normal with that damage that needs to be fixed. Go ahead, Sean.
Justin Weaver going to go ahead and bring it back into the pits. So already a couple laps down. He's going to have to maybe try and get more damage repaired.
Sometimes when you're out there golfing, it's best if you just run out of balls and you have to call it a day. Bob Mikas continues to be the leader of all the cars who've pitted. What's the interval between Mikas and our leader? About 53 seconds. Still on the lead lap. If this were real world racing right now, what Bob Mikas would want is a yellow flag so they could all get bunched up and he'd stay out and everyone else would have to go to the back. Not going to happen here in the Lionheart.
You know what? Otis is still losing time to Adam Blocker up here.
And again, all Adam needs to do is keep the pressure on Ryan. I am a Ryan Otis fan. You wouldn't know it by the commentary, but he's not immune to making a mistake. There were many a race, Sean, when we had Jake C. for championship right involved in a road race, and our only hope was Ryan Otis.
Well, Ryan Otis starting to give a little hope to the guys behind him, but I think everything's going to work itself out here soon.
The leaders work lap number 11. They're still only 1/3 of the way there.
Yeah, we still have plenty of work here to get done.
Sean, I would imagine the tires will start to wear out. The car will get lighter. The balance will change a little bit.
Yeah, definitely, Sue. I think we're starting to see that now. with the improved pace. I mean, Yosik was the fastest that last time around from third place. A full 10th.
Once again, the only driver willing to share stuff with us was Samuel Ryman, our own GSRC commentator. And he was very confident about that light fuel was more important than new tires. So that said, he did come in early, which means he's going to have to race a heavier race car for the majority of the time. Oh, taking a tow. It was a man from Bakersfield, right, Sean?
Yeah, Jason Galvin having more trouble. Boy, just some days it's your day, and some days it's not, and that's a shame for Galvin. Doesn't look like he's going to get to wear the checkered flag tie tomorrow morning on the what's the name of that show, Sim?
Wakey Wakey Bakersfield. That is right. Not the name of it, but it is the first round. I will learn the real name by next round. That should be the name of that show.
I believe he agrees with you.
Oh, there's a little bit of an artsy camera shot by Amjad Yaman looking off the right front fender of James Grahula, if these cars had fenders.
James is still chasing Ron Hacker. It's really one of the closer battles we have left on track, Sue. James just not able to find a way around him right now. James started in 7th. I know he'd like to get that spot back if he can.
Talk about finding a way around. How about Samuel Ryman? Little by little, he ran down Bob Mikas now, and Ryman up to 11th. Mikas back to 12th. These are the leaders of all the cars who've pitted. Again, they are on the lead lap. Hoping that Godzilla rises out of the sea and attacks Homestead. Well, actually, not yet. They'd like that to happen after the halfway mark so the race would be official.
That would have been a long swim from Monster Island, okay?
Yeah, not even the right ocean. That's right.
Yeah, it's not. No,
that's not going to work.
And I don't think Godzilla's getting through the Panama Canal. So.
I watched one. He attacked New York, so I saw that was a horrible Godzilla movie, by the way. As we look at Ron Hacker and James Grahula. See, I did my Vince Scully there. I went right from my story right into play-by-play. High and outside ball 2. Ron Hacker ahead of James Grahula by 0.2 of a second.
Now Grahula's got the draft. Here we go. Can he make this work here?
Got him.
He's been working on this for about 4 or 5 laps.
And the yellow car of James Grahula out in front of Ron Hacker now. Moved Grahula up to 7th. That's finally the same place that he gridded in qualifying.
Yeah, that is a perfect shade of highlighter yellow there, Sue.
I think it's aromatic as well. The lemon-scented JMK supply machine.
Gonna have to ask James what the hex code is on that color. I kind of like it. And for everything James has done, he's not been able to catch up to his buddy Woody Mahan yet. We barely skimmed the surface talking about the race that Woody Mahan's had, Soup. I mean, he's picked up 3 spots. He's kept the car virtually out of trouble. The Loud Pedal Motorsports driver having a solid run here, I think. He just not had a lot of action around him.
He's looking just to have a great season ahead of him. And Lord knows we've got a great schedule here in this Lionheart Retro season.
Yeah, a lot of action coming your way this season, folks.
Mixture of road courses and ovals. We look at Ryan Otis. That gap now, it was 2.5, now up to 2.9. Well, now down to 2.7. I guess it depends on when you look at it.
Sue, the grand prize this season in the Retro Series from HPP Simulation, they are going to get a pedal set, the 3P PRX SE pedal set valued at $1,395.
That's just like the Super Bowl winner getting first pick in the draft. It just seems so unfair. But my gosh, and what a prize. Between the two series, the IndyCar series and this retro, oh my goodness, as we look at the Candyman. See if we can, he's got him going
Hang on there,
back.
Dustin.
Between these two series, almost, I believe, if my math is correct, it's like $10,000 worth of prizes. $4,000 here in this series and about $6,000 in the Lionheart series, in the IndyCar series. Again, we are in the wrong business. Ryan Otis, 2.6 seconds ahead of Adam Blocker.
They're going to have 3 Triple Crown events this year: the Pocono 250-mile race, the Indy 250, and the Auto Club 250-mile race. Indy and Auto Club will be double point soup.
Right.
Ryan's starting to get to the lap traffic here, soup.
Coming up on Bob Mikas. Boy, it's hard for me not to say the Van Hansen meat machine, but he is out there in the John Player Special. Mikas, a veteran of the series, will know how to get out of the way. Comes up, he's going to leave the inside open. And how do you do? Thank you very much. Ryan Otis puts him a lap down.
Pierre
Couple
Degla
pitters.
is in. Yep.
As is Joe Branch, as is... Well, I guess Joe Branch is in. Yeah, Branch has been in for a while. So Degla is in. Let's see if he can get out in front of Sam Ryman. He does. By about 2.6 seconds.
Bob Mikas bringing his ride down, and this is the second stop for Bob, dealing with a little bit of damage on his machine.
Yeah, probably something we missed there. That's what allowed Ryman to get around Mikas. But right now, Degla is the leader of all the cars who pitted. Go, Sean.
We are now well past the halfway point of this race, and our leaders, the top 9 right now, is still yet to come in for their service.
Otis has opened it up to 3.3 seconds on Blocker. Blocker about the same distance ahead of Brian Yosik. It's about 6 seconds back to Dustin Wardlow. And he's got about a second half on Michael Goodman.
So we talked about before how Yosik, Blocker were starting to close things up a bit, and maybe not Yosik, but maybe Otis was listening to the broadcast, because it sure seems like that's been a memory. Because Soup, he's still turning 108s. Blocker and Yosik are now into the 109s. It seems like he's actually starting to get a little bit faster here, deeper into this run. Blocker, Yosik have allowed themselves to slip back just a bit.
Here comes Goodman and Hacker. They're going to bring it down. Goodman getting there first. Goodman is in his box. Let's go ahead and see where Degla is. Oh, Pierre's got quite a ways to go. Not even to NASCAR 10 and 11 yet, so these guys should be able to get out first. Yep, sure enough, Michael Goodman is out. Cycles out in 8th. Ron Hacker out as well. Comfortably about 10 seconds ahead of Pierre Nightingale. And I need an official now. I'm not going to go through another series. If Daigle's going to race in both the Retro Series and the Lionheart IndyCar Series, I need an official pronunciation on that last name. I'm tired of this. I'm getting confirmation from my director. That is Degla. Okay.
Degla, yes. I still like Knight and Degla.
Pierre Knight and Degla. Currently, he races in 10th.
He needs to be careful here because he's about to be racing in 10th, a lap down. But hey, he's sure to take it back. Obviously, he's been in for his pit. Otis still seeking that pit stop. So
let's go to Samuel Ryman in 11th here and for racing out there. Oh, and the GSRC machine. Nice of Samuel to put on the home colors. As he goes a lap down, Ryan Otis says, "See you later, boy, like you're a skater boy." Samuel Ryman now a lap down in 11th position. But like Sean was saying, Sam will get that back when the big O has to come in and make that stop.
Sam's had a good race, Sue. He's picked up 3 spots. He's taking care of the car. A GSRC livery looks perfect on his machine.
Darn right. Talk about a swear jar. You dent up the GSRC machine. And
well, he is on the newly formed Raven Motorsports team. Got that Raven
I
shield
like that.
nose.
Got a little Edgar Allan Poe feel to it. Pierre Degla in 10th now, about to be lapped by Ryan Otis. Our director has found a battle or something close to a battle. Mahan by about a second ahead of James Krahula.
Well,
I believe Krahula's coming.
This has been their lot in life here for quite a while, Sue. I'm surprised that Krahula has not been able to close on Woody. Woody's got a little bit of damage on the rear wing of the car. Apparently, it is not affecting the handling of that Lotus 79 at all. And you see it as we ride on board. That little ripple there doesn't seem to be making a difference because Krahula hasn't been able to close him at all.
We have 7 cars yet to pit. Last one being Chris Stouffer. Stouffer right behind Krahula. Well, I say right behind. That's a relative term. He's back by only, he's been passed now by Michael Goodman.
Sue, quick reminder to all of the people viewing tonight, you want more information about the Lionheart Racing Series, all the links to their website, their Facebook, Twitter, everything is in the details here of this YouTube broadcast. A quick link to all of their sponsors if you want to check out HPP Simulation, Butt Kicker, Clipping That Apex, SimSport News, the Sim Pit, they're all there.
Plasma Tracks, don't forget that one.
Plasma Tracks, yes.
Plasma Track. You want an original gift? I cannot describe what Plasma Tracks is. You just got to go, and I'm telling you, it's something else.
It is one of the more unique pieces of art you will find. And boy, if you're a motorsports enthusiast, you've just got to have that. It's plasma-tracks.com. So plasma, the -sign, tracks.com. That'll get you there.
They have a plug coming up later in the broadcast. They are the sponsor of the Plasma Tracks post-race Victory Lane show. All this going on behind Ryan Otis. In NASCAR terminology, he's stinking up the show. 2.7 seconds up on Adam Blocker.
Well, and that being said, though, Adam is got himself a little bit closer now. But I think that's all going to come down to this pit stop. Obviously, they all have to be perfect. Otis has got to be close to perfect. Because, listen, just under 3 seconds is nothing to laugh at. You can lose that in one small mistake in a turn. Now, Otis hasn't made one yet, but if he does make one, be sure that Adam Blocker will be there to pick it up.
I'm telling you, he's a package of disappointment wrapped in potential. Ryan Otis will break your heart. I'm pulling for him.
Well, having the privilege of actually racing with him a couple times, I can tell you he's never broken my heart, Soup. So
that is the blue car there is Adam Blocker as he goes around Pierre Nightingale. Dagla racing in 9th. Again, the top now 6 drivers still need to pit. Somebody snuck in on me there while I wasn't looking. It was Brian Yosik coming in now. Yosik finding his spot, looking to get out ahead of Michael Goodman now. I think that one could be a tall order. Goodman is just coming out onto the oval right now. Heading down into 10 and 11. Yosik is in and rolling. I think he's going to get this done.
he is rolling. He's going to get it done.
Yosik is out. That interval. Oh, my goodness. What are you talking about, Soup? Well, it's about 9 seconds. Not even close.
Not a problem with creating a little bit of drama, Soup. It's okay. It's all right.
Page 17 in the GSRC's commentator handbook. Add drama whenever possible. I just heard something bad happen to somebody.
You did.
Who could it have been?
Who?
I heard an engine blow or something, but I guess we're okay. It was violent. My software won't show it to me.
Wait a second. Hacker is in the pit. Well, he was. No, I'm sorry. That my replay.
Yeah.
My bad. Sorry.
It could have been.
Sean.
Could have been somebody in pit lane fooling around a little bit. One of the cars that are out. Everybody seems to be racing okay. All right, let's check in on the interval between first and second, Sean. It was up to 2.7 seconds. It's down to 1.8.
Blocker's still working on this here. Now Otis gets in behind a little bit of traffic there, and now he dives into the pits. Otis going to the safety road, and Blocker's going to follow him in here soon.
All right. Let's go ahead and talk about our profiled driver here. And of course, that is Adam Blocker.
Yeah.
Well, no, we wanted to wait till it was an important time, and this is it.
Great time to talk about Adam.
Look at the action in the little box. Now, that's taped. That is not live. And on the right side, in the big box, that's what we can do here at GSRC. This is live action as they pull in their pit lane, as we are on the rail cam there that follows the cars down pit lane. There you can see Adam Blocker, 10 career starts, pole positions. He's got 3. Well, you can read it there. Career wins 4 wins in 10 tries. Look at this! And he's also really good at pit stops.
Wow. He gets out in front of Otis. I didn't see that coming. I did not see that coming.
My goodness, break out the violins for Ryan Otis fans as one more time. The would've, the could've has gone away. Now he's going to have to work at it. My dad used to say would'ves and could'ves are like Loggins and Messina. Time proves one to be totally irrelevant.
Yes, I know which one is irrelevant. I get that one, Sue.
Well, right now, Ryan Otis got to be thinking, what happened? As he has got to try to run down Adam Blocker. Still plenty of time. We're only on lap 27.
Woody Mahan finally coming in for his pit stop, Sue. He's going to do that in front of Blocker, and Otis are going to come around and pass him.
I think he did lead a lap, though.
He did. Give one to Woody.
So with apologies to the rest of the field, unless there's something really intense happening, and I don't see anything looking at the numbers, our closest battle is right here.
Back on board with the butt kicker cam. Otis giving chase. 6 laps to get this done. Otis throwing a little heat to the rotors on that Lotus 79.
Now they head down into 8. This is the sharp left-hander. The exit here is very important because if you have a bad exit out of 8, you're going to pay for it all the way around the oval. But a pretty good job from Blocker getting out there. Sean, is Otis close enough? It looks like he's getting a little bit of help.
So you're going to see he's going to get a little closer here even yet.
Here he comes.
Blocker has an interesting name, though, Soup.
Yes, he does. I'd have to put that to work as they go down. They negotiate 1. Okay, now into 2. Another tight left-hander there. Now out of this, now they're on the throttle. Back-to-back right-handers coming up, 6 and 7. And then maybe a passing zone down into 8, but I haven't seen one done there yet. But on paper, it looks like that's somewhere you could do it. I think that the speed out of 7 is really not that sharp of a corner. I just don't think you can get a good enough run down into the corner that needs a name. Here we go again. Exit out of 8. Sean, I think Otis is a little closer this time.
A little bit. Last season's runner-up in the championship here in the Retro Series. You know, Otis only ran 14 of those 18 races, Soup, and he still was runner-up. Here he comes.
Here he comes. Look at Otis defend the inside. Blocker defend the inside. Forcing him wide. They'll have to wait and try it one more time. We've seen the dipsy-do work there, though. Blocker able to negotiate through those corners okay. Once again, they head down into 6. Too short of a straight to make a pass here. Now, this is a sharp right-hander. Now, 7 is this next corner, but it's really a sweeper. There's just not enough way to get a corner exit out of there for Otis to get any run down into 8, which would be a good passing zone, but maybe not in these cars.
Yeah, that sweeper hasn't proved to be anything today for anyone to be able to take advantage there. Blocker gets a really, really good run out of that last hairpin back to the straight.
Looks a little bit farther ahead this time.
Yeah, he did. He just found amazing grip there. And that hairpin, like I said, back to the straight. But here comes Otis now. He's found the grip. He's found the draft.
Blocker staying low. Put on the reggae music. You're going to pass me. You got to do it high. Not going to happen. And then Blocker takes his half right out of the middle as they go through 2 into 3. Otis will have to try one more time. 3 laps to go. Unfortunately, Sean, the best passing zone is on the other side of the start-finish line. Stouffer just lost the car, put it off into the Florida fescue. It came around on him. He's going to lose positions, and actually Blocker goes by.
With a tank slapper. Poor Chris winds up with a tank slapper that winds up with him on the hook back to the pit, Soup.
Looking at this on replay. There it is. And then when we come back live, we better hustle back to the leader. Because I think Otis has a run this time. 4 car lengths. 3 car lengths. 2 car lengths. 1 car length. Pulls to the outside. Not going to get it done. Again, Blocker takes that line right through the middle, through 2. Now, Sean, there are 2 to go, which means Ryan Otis will have only one more bite of that turn 1 apple.
Yeah.
He's got to stay close through here. Oh, and that is the definition of close. Good drive off from Blocker.
Maybe a little bit of frustration there on Otis.
Oh, I like it this time. This is the closest he's been, though. A pretty good exit, though, from Blockers. He gets a good run off. This is the last chance, last legitimate chance at it. Oh, he's coming. He's there much earlier than before. He's going to pull alongside. Doesn't get credit for leading the lap. Now they're side by side into it. Blocker's going to dive it in deeper than Confucius in a submarine, and he fends him off.
Again.
Oh.
Failed attempt by Ryan Otis.
I think that was the last
I
chance.
think that was it. Yeah.
They worked through 6. Well, let's remember, Otis almost led that lap. He almost passed him before the start-finish line. If he can get up here and get a good run, he's got a chance to snake him before the finish. He's there. Not sure. Blocker did not have a great entry, but he has a much better exit. Otis could be too far back now. Oh my goodness, where's the start-finish line? Here comes Otis. 2 car lengths, 1 car length. He's to the gearbox. He pulls to the outside. No! Adam Blocker fends him off. 3/100th of a second.
Here comes Brian Yosik in the HPP simulation. Lotus 79. He'll finish 3rd.
Dustin Wardlow gets 4th. Michael Goodman gets 5th. James Motley Krahula.
Look at that. Finally get around Woody Mahan. Woody's going to finish 7th.
Still on the lead lap. Ron Hacker. Ron started 10th, picks up 2 spots. Pierre Nightingale coming home in 9th. We're going to go to a replace now, and we're going to take you up to our eye in the sky. Take a look at this one. The blue car is Blocker. The trailing car, Otis. And there it is. He needed another 200 yards. My goodness. That's what you can expect all season long here on the Lionheart Retro Series. What we're going to do right now, the racing is over, but our broadcast is far from done. We're going to take a short break, but we will come back to give you the complete finishing order, talk to some of the drivers before we put a lock on the gate. Back in a few.
The Sim Pit is an entertainment channel dedicated to the world of simulated motorsports. The Sim Pit is a leader in providing the sim racing community with news, reviews, interviews, DIY pieces, and instructional videos to make sim racing a better experience for all. Check us out at thesimpit.com or go to YouTube and just search for The Sim Pit.
Welcome back to Homestead Miami Raceway and the Plasma Tracks Victory Lane post-race show. If you're struggling to find something for the person who has everything, do I have the website for you? Plasma-tracks.com not only produces original racetrack wall art, motorsports trophies, home decor, and motorsports fabrication are also available. Words cannot do justice to the uniqueness of their wares. The only way to fully appreciate their artwork is to see it for yourself, but I warn you, one visit and the next thing you know, you'll be trying to convince the spouse why you need a Plasma Track wall art in your home. See it all at plasma-tracks.com. Okay, let's go ahead now and run down the finishing order. This finishing order brought to you by HPP Simulations. Adam Blocker is our winner. Ryan Otis right behind him. I hate to say I told you so, but I told you so. Never turn away from a GSRC broadcast. Congratulations to Adam Blocker. Brian Yosik, Dustin Wardlow come home second and third. Sean, I'm only going to take 5. Michael Goodman comes home in 5th.
All right, I'll go back to 6th. James Scrivola, great run today. Woody Mahan, good run for him, 7th. 8th, got to go to Ron Hacker. Pierre Degla, 9th. Sam Ryman finishes 10th. Hats off to our buddy Sam.
On the lead lap. Then all the rest of the cars are 1 lap down starting, 4 lap down or more, starting in 11th. It would be Chris Stouffer, Bob Micas, Jason Galvin. We saw his perils and tribulations. Justin Weaver and Joe Branch round out your 15-car field. Has anybody managed, I know it's the first round, has any of these drivers managed to find their way into the GSRC interview booth?
You've got a winner. You've got a winner to talk to.
All right. It is Adam Blocker. Adam, congratulations. Have no fear. Adam is here. You sat back there and just waited for the pit stop and got it done.
Yeah, that was absolutely insane. I would say, over the course of the race, Ryan definitely had a little edge on pace, not a big edge, but a little edge. But yeah, he surprised me with how relatively slow he was on pit end compared to I was. And I mean, as you can tell, I got crossed up trying not to completely ram into the back of him. I mean, we made a little bit of contact. I think I got a little bit of damage from it, but yeah. And then I already had my tires unchecked because I was planning on just trying to take the gamble to make up a lot of time. You know, if I knew I was gonna be that close to him, I might have taken tires, but I ended up not taking tires and came out barely in front, and we had to scrap it out for the last 7 laps. It was crazy. I don't know how we didn't make contact in the turn 2.
Yeah. In fact, what I thought was interesting, first of all, you took the defensive line, forced him high. And then I thought what was interesting is the next corner, how you kind of took the middle lane there and didn't even allow him either to go up top or even come underneath you for a little up and under move. Some great racing.
Yeah, I knew into turn 3, which I think is what you're talking about.
Right.
Taking the middle line, would prevent the dive bomb, because I knew, like, in practice that was a good place to pass people if you kind of got a bad run out of 2, which I did a couple of times because I had to go in really deep because he was pressing me hard. If you take the middle line through there, he can't take the inside. It's also not a blocking move because it's such a short run to the corner. But it also doesn't really hurt exit that much because you end up compromising that corner anyway. So he's not going to be able to pass you in turn 4. So I kind of thought about that and realized, that's what I had to do. It did make me a little bit slower through that section, and it, made him right on my tail for the rest of the lap. But, I guess I just had to deal with it. That one time though, he got a nose ahead of me on the front straight, and I thought he was going to get me. But I just drove it in really deep into turn 1 and 2, and I guess I left him enough room barely. But I just went all out.
What was interesting is the passing obviously was down there in 1, 2, and 3. But if he got a good enough run out of 8 and was close enough on one of those laps, he almost beat you to the start finish line.
Yeah, I checked that, like, on the last lap. I looked at my relatives. I was like, did he beat me the last time, to see whether I had to worry about it or not. And I thought I could get it as long as I got a good enough run out of the out of 8. But on the last lap, he kind of spooked me because he did the thing I like to do. He kind of dodged to the inside, kind of faking or attempting a dive bomb. I don't know, just to kind of put me off, and it did. I missed apex by a little bit, and that hurt my run out of the turn 8. And he got really close as a result. I mean, I think it was like 0.003 of a second, which is crazy on a road course. But Jeez.
We'll get you out of here on this. You doing double duty this season coming up? You're going to run in both the IndyCar and the Retro Series?
Yep, that's the plan. Full time in both. I just want to thank George for putting together 2 great series again. I know he's been working hard over him and the admin team on the off season, putting together sponsor packages and getting all the rules ironed out and working on setups and all that stuff. Definitely want to thank HPP and Butt Kicker for also coming on board this season for a retro. They're kicking out a lot of money and prizes, and we really appreciate it. I know a bunch of guys in the league are definitely more interested in their products now that we've gotten more exposure to them.
I think not only the drivers, but the fans as well. Congratulations on the win today. Good luck as we start for real in a week.
Yep. See you then.
Adam Blocker, the winner of the All-Star race. Sean?
All right, and I get to talk to our runner-up, the man that you said, Soup, always manages to break your heart. He did it again tonight. Ryan, how do you explain yourself?
Hey, I was trying. That was fun. Kudos to Adam. He drove great. We had such a great battle there at the end. That was a blast. I was smiling the whole time.
Now, Ryan, for the record, I did tell Soup that you've never broken my heart, but that was quite a race, man. This is an interesting roval, not quite like any of the others that we see. Give us your thoughts about this configuration.
Well, so the thing that really surprised me, and I guess I never really got a lot of practice in traffic, so I had kind of made, I guess, the bad strategic choice to take tires. And I know Adam's kind of fond of not taking tires, and I figured if I at least got a good pit entry, then I had a chance of coming out ahead of him. But I overslowed a bunch, and he got real close into the back of me, and I kind of blew that up a little bit. And I thought, well, if I take tires still, I think I could at least get a good tow and get around them because the front straight's pretty long. And I was surprised at how tough it really was. Even if I got a really big run, like on that last lap there, I was giving it my all. And boy, he did a great job, running me. We were both racing each other hard, and he ran me all the way to the edge. And I was like, oh man, that was a smart move. And then he drove the middle of the next corner, and it's like, that was smart too. Dang it.
Well, next week we get things cranked off for real, and points will be at stake. Are you looking forward to the start of the retro season?
Oh yeah, I love this car. It's so much fun. So I'm really looking forward to it. I'm going to do my best to put on a good show, and I think with the amount of talent we got in here, I think it's going to be awesome. I feel bad for Justin. I know he definitely had the speed, and I think he spun out early. But there's tons of fast guys in here, and I know Jake's going to be running this series, so that's going to be awesome.
Well, last question, I'll let you go. Any improvement on the oval program? You think you'll be strong there this season?
Yeah, I think I'll be better than last year. I guess maybe it's not too hard to improve on my oval performances. So I think I'll give it the old college try, and I think it'll be fun. I definitely have to give out a shout out to George and all the admin team for all the work they put in the off season. All the sponsors, HPP and Butt Kicker and everybody. I think it's super awesome the work they've done, and I think this is going to be the best year yet.
All right, Ryan, we're going to let you go. Great start to the season, and we look forward to seeing you next week.
Yeah, thanks, Sean.
All right, Soup, one last person to get in here, complete our podium, Mr. Brian Yosik, the man they call the Beard.
He had a nice, quiet run. He comes home in third, qualified in fourth. We're going to turn it over to him. Let us tell us about his race. He's never for a loss for words.
No, you know what I really feel like tonight, Soup and Crackers, is I feel like the green beans at the steak and potatoes dinner. Everybody shows up for the steak and potatoes, and no one remembers the green beans. So Otis and Blocker are putting on a hell of a show up there as the steak and the potatoes. But hey, we brought back a really solid effort in our HPP simulation Lotus 79 for Loud Pedal Motorsports. Get to say that now on the Lionheart side, so that's kind of fun. Yeah, I mean, we got a decent amount of testing in. I knew we were fast, and then Otis and Blocker being in there, and Weaver, and I knew I kind of had my odds against me. But really what I spent a lot of time focusing on in the off season was just kind of running consistent laps and running clean, consistent laps. Not trying to go out there and kill it every single time, which is something I know that I needed some work on the road side, just kind of build that consistency. But, all in all, I'll take a podium race or a podium finish in the All-Star race. That'll get exciting.
We'll get you out of here on this one. Have you had a chance to race the new IndyCar yet?
You know what? I have not. I haven't really had a chance to sit down with it. I just started painting my car for the upcoming IndyCar season.
Right there you go.
Well, no, and you'll get a kick out of this. Is I'm going to sit down tomorrow and I got to record a whole bunch of lap guides for GSRC, and about 4 of them are in the IR18. So
don't. Yes, that's
spoiler alert. But
don't pull the curtain back too much.
Oh, come on, it's obvious now. But no, really happy. Thanks to George, all of our sponsors, HPP Simulation, Clipping That Apex. A whole bunch of new guys this year too. Von Hansen's hanging around, Dirty Blinds, Lock Precision, Duard's Candy, Plasma Tracks, Guys Games and Beers.net. That's a fun podcast to hang out with. But all in all, we're going to come back on the oval side, and obviously ovals being my strong suit. We're going to come back next week, and we're going to try and make a run for it, and really make a run for both championships this year. I think we're going to have a good shot at it.
All right. Well, good luck to you. We start for real next week, so we'll see you down the road.
All right. Take it easy, boys.
Brian Yosik, the easiest interview. Hey, that's going to do it for us. Sister Martha Mary, my second grade teacher, is going to be proud right now because little Soupy's going to show everybody how he can read. HPPsimulations.com. We have to thank them. When it's time to go sim racing, nothing beats the feel of a true hydraulic braking system for HPP Simulations. Designed and manufactured in the USA on state-of-the-art CNC equipment, HPP hydraulic pedals and their state-of-the-art CNC equipment. Ask Sister Mary Catherine, I just read the same line twice. HPP hydraulic pedals and their, go to the next line, accessories set the standard for simulation racing. For more information, please visit. Sister Martha Mary and Sister Mary Catherine, I'm so sorry. DwarsCandy.com. We got to thank them. I don't even have to read this one. I can sing this from the warmth of my heart. If you are tired of the impersonal gift cards and you're looking for something truly unique, how about this gift idea? This will leave a lasting impression. Get your trophy room ready because Dwar's Gourmet Taffy Chews will have you looking like a champ. Dwar's Chewy peanut butter filled taffy has been enjoyed by generations of families dating back to 1909 and are now shipped all over the world. For more information, go to dwarscandy.com. Folks, there's only one more to read. Here we go. And this one's important. How about these guys? thesimpit.com. An entertainment channel dedicated to sim racing, bringing you news, reviews, and information from around the world about sim racing hardware and software. It also focuses on what it takes to be a better sim racer with instructional videos and how-tos that will help you performance on the virtual track. Check it out now this is important. You have to put in the article here. It is thesimpit.com. My goodness, I have to go on more. When do you come in, Sean? Do you have anything to read on this thing?
I do, I promise.
Okay, all right. I'm going to do these. We're going to fix this next time. We're sharing the workload. On the screen now are just some of the company's equipment and software that made this broadcast possible. The iconic music that lets your ears alert your eyes you're watching a GSRC production comes courtesy of Eric Eckelman and Casey Lalonde. I'm almost done. See the screen for how to contact each of them.
Soup. This is where I get to talk. Now, the Lionheart Retro Series returns in 1 week, March 15th, for round 1 from the Oval right here at Homestead. GSRC will be there to bring you all the action. We hope you join us then. Now, sliding across your screen are some upcoming broadcasts. Check those out. Mark them down on your calendar. If you'd like more information about us, who's us? The Global SimRacing Channel, GSRC, including a complete list of future broadcasts. You can find those on our website, globalsimracingchannel.com. We're also on Twitter at GSR Channel and Facebook. Type in Global SimRacing Channel. And folks, while you're here, if you haven't done it yet, hit that subscribe button. Please hit the subscribe button now. Subscribe to this YouTube channel, and we will keep you up to date. You have my promise.
So close. We are so close. White flag. Finally, on behalf of the man whose voice you just heard, Sean Ambrose, our director Joe Peak, and our camera artist Dougie Beard, I'd like to thank all of you for watching Final Turn. With that said, we're off to have fun storming the castle. So until next time, race clean, race hard, and I'll see you on the track.